How's it going? It is your muscle building coach, Lee Hayward. And in today's video, we are going to discuss the secret to fat loss. There's so much confusion and information overload and all that kind of stuff out there these days. And people are still struggling to lose body fat. Despite the fact that we have more diets available than ever before, despite the fact that there's more gyms available than ever before, there's more supplements available than ever before, more books about diet and exercise than ever before, people are fatter than ever before. How is this possible? Why is it? The secret to all this, it comes down to calories. Calories in versus calories out. That's it. You could go keto, you could go carnivore, you could go paleo, you could intermittent fast, you could do all these different diets. You could go on the cabbage soup diet, the grapefruit diet, Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, you name it. It all comes down to calories in versus calories out. I mean, even if you never ate another carbohydrate for the rest of your life, but you were still in a calorie surplus from excess protein and excess fat calories, you could still gain weight. Even if you fasted for 23 hours a day and you only ate for 1 hour a day, one meal a day, but you overate in that one meal, you could still get fat. If you dieted for 6 days a week but then had one big old cheat meal on the weekend, you could still get fat. It comes down to calories in versus calories out over the long term. That's the kicker here, over the long term. Because a lot of people, they'll diet super strict for the short term, but they're not looking long term. And to kind of just prove my point here, imagine you saved money all month long, right? Like you were really frugal, saving every penny, but then one weekend you went to Vegas and you blew it all. You could be broke after that one weekend in Vegas where you blew it all on the blackjack tables and the slot machines and whatever, even though you were saving money all month long. The same applies with nutrition. Like you could be following a healthy eating plan. You could be in a calorie deficit. You could be exercising every day. You could be counting your carbs and macros and blah, 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 and doing all the things right, but then have a big old dirty cheat on the weekend and undo all the work that you've done. It comes down to long-term averages, not just short-term bursts. And this is where a lot of people screw up and a lot of people get frustrated, is because they're focusing on the short-term burst and saying, well, it's not working. But they're not thinking long-term, right? Again, use that analogy of money. You could save money all week long, but then if you go and blow it all on the weekend, you're still gonna be broke. You could diet all week long, but then you go have a big old dirty cheat on the weekend, you're still gonna get fat, right? You need to think long-term and bigger picture. And in this video, I'm gonna cover some strategies for how you can achieve long-term fat loss and actually enjoy the process. Or at least not feel miserable during the process. Like that's the most important thing. You have to be able to enjoy it, you have to be able to sustain it and make it part of your lifestyle. And this is one of the biggest problems when it comes to fat loss, because a lot of people think of the extreme all or nothing approach. Like, I'm gonna suffer it out for the short term, lose all the weight, get in shape, and then go back to my old habits. Well, the problem with that is if you go back to your old habits, you're gonna go back to the way that those old habits created. So you're gonna regain the weight, you'll get fat again. And this is the reality for most people who go on a diet. They yo-yo up and down. And this is what happens over and over and over again. So we need to think of a lifestyle change, not just going on a diet. Now, I want to give a quick shout out to Built Bar because they are sponsoring this video and they are actually one of my strategies that I'm going to share in this video for helping to control your appetite, control those sweet tooth cravings, and keep your calories in check. 18 different flavors made with whey protein isolate, and they taste absolutely delicious. I mean, I even give them to my 4-year-old son and he loves them. I mean, this is our treat when it comes to like candy bars or sweet tooth cravings or whatever. I'm satisfying them with the Built Bar because they taste that good. I mean, it almost feels like you're cheating on your diet, but you're doing so with high quality protein, low sugar, low fat, a healthy option. So I highly recommend you give them a try. And I have a link to their website down in the description below this video. Just open up the description, check it out. And there is a coupon code that you can use to save 10% off your order. So it's LEH10. Use that when you check out and you can save 10%, and that is a reusable coupon code. So you can use it over and over again multiple times whenever you buy the Built Bars. Use that to save some money. So this is how I satisfy my sweet tooth cravings without blowing the diet. And if you're looking to do the same, then I highly recommend you check out the Built Bar and make sticking to a fitness and fat loss program a lot more enjoyable. So again, check them out, link in the description below, and let's get back to the video. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty details on this, you need to realize that there's a difference between weight loss and fat loss. And a lot of novice dieters don't understand the difference here. And I'll give you an example. If you go on a very low carbohydrate diet, you are going to drop weight rapidly, like literally several pounds within the first week. And it's not that you're dropping several pounds of body fat, it's you're dropping water weight, because with carbohydrates come water storage. When you consume carbohydrates and the carbohydrates get stored in the muscle cells, it's referred to stored glycogen. For every gram of stored glycogen, your body's going to retain 3 grams of water. So that's what gives your muscles the full look, right? You see bodybuilders, I mean, they'll carb deplete and then carb load before a bodybuilding show. This is why, because they want to have that full look in the muscles. Now, if you just go very low carb, you're going to deplete the glycogen, and you're also going to deplete the water that's stored along with the glycogen, so the weight's going to drop rapidly. But it's not fat weight, it's just water and glycogen for the most part. And technically, that's lean mass. And that's going to carry over into making you feel flat, depleted, and it's actually going to drain your energy in the gym. So you'll be working out and you're not going to get a pump. You're going to feel flat as a pancake and your energy levels are going to be down the toilet. And that's the reality of most people who go on a low carbohydrate diet. Now, there's a few unicorns out there who actually say, hey, I love low carb dieting and I follow it and it works for me and all that. And if that's you, then great. Continue your low carb dieting if that's the case. But I know for most people, low carb diets are like a quick fix, short-term thing. It's not something that they can sustain and enjoy for the rest of their life. I certainly can. I can't see myself going the rest of my life without eating carbohydrates. Ain't gonna happen. I love my carbohydrates and I'm gonna eat them as a regular part of my diet. And I focus on a well-balanced diet. Equal ratios of protein, carbohydrates, and fat. And I find that when you eat a well-balanced diet, things just work better. You don't go through the ups and downs of mood swings and energy fluctuations and all that mental fog and everything else. You actually feel good, you feel satiated, and it's easier to sustain over the long term. So that's what I'm looking for here is long-term sustainability, not these short-term fluctuations and crash diets and all this kind of BS. So a few simple strategies that you can start implementing right away to help tip the odds in favor of maximum fat loss over the long term. The first one, fill up on natural, unprocessed foods. Lean protein, fruits, and vegetables. When you sit down to a meal, fill up on one ingredient foods. What's one ingredient foods? It's foods that don't need a nutrition label. Like if I go to the butcher and I buy a chicken, or I buy a steak, or I buy a fish, do I need a nutrition label on that? No, because what is it? It's chicken, it's steak, it's fish, it's one ingredient foods. When I go to the produce section and I buy an apple, a potato, a head of broccoli, a head of lettuce, or something like that, it's a one ingredient food. It doesn't need a nutrition label. That's the type of stuff you want to fill up on. Natural, unprocessed, one ingredient foods. So if you base your meals around those type of foods, what's going to happen is it's going to give you the volume and the eating satisfaction and the satiation your body needs. It's hard to overeat on single ingredient foods. It really is. It's hard to become obese eating protein, fruits, and vegetables. In fact, I've never seen anybody become obese on just natural, unprocessed protein, fruits, and vegetables. I haven't seen it yet. Now, again, maybe there's some people out there who have, but it's rare. Most people who are overweight, it's because they're eating processed foods. Cakes and cookies and ice cream and French fries and pizza and hot dogs and cookies and candy and whatever, like stuff that is man-made, manufactured, processed, and foods that are designed to be more palatable, foods that are designed to make you consume and not get satiated. Just think of eating potato chips. Like just think, okay, we got a big bag of Cool Ranch Doritos. and you start eating those things, I mean, you can eat the whole frickin' bag and still be hungry afterwards. Like, it doesn't fill you up, even though it is jam-packed with calories. So on a calories in, calories out basis, you just consumed a massive amount of food, but on an eating satiation and satiety basis, it doesn't satisfy you. Whereas if you were eating salad, like you have a big bag of kale salad versus your big bag of Cool Ranch Doritos, like, could you binge on kale salad? Probably not. It's a lot harder to do because the fiber, the volume, the roughage is going to fill you up. And that is what's going to give you the satiation. Like, eating that type of stuff is going to fill you. Whereas eating the potato chips, it's just going to make you more hungry. And food companies have engineered this. Like, they're not idiots. They've spent a lot of money and done a lot of research and stuff to come up with the ideal flavor and crunch and texture and everything else to make you want to eat more, so that you eat more, you buy more, they make more money, and it's just this spiral where they're selling more junk food, you're buying more junk food, you're eating more junk food, and you're not getting satiated from it. You just want more and more and more, right? It's like a drug addiction in that sense. And it really is. I mean, food addiction, drug addictions, they're very similar. So we want to get away from those foods and eat the natural unprocessed foods. Lean protein, chicken, fish, meat, eggs, dairy products like Greek yogurt, cottage cheese. Those are some good sources of protein. For your vegetables, pretty much anything goes. I mean, especially a lot of green vegetables. For your fruits, again, pretty much anything goes. Like, single ingredient foods. Fill up on the protein, the veg, and the fruits, and I'm telling you, you're going to fill your belly without giving it a lot of extra calories, and it's going to give you that eating satiation that you want. Another big one that you need to focus on when it comes to fat loss is your activity level. The more calories you burn, the leaner you're going to be. And you need to think of big picture things, not just the workout that you do in the gym. And a lot of guys actually overestimate how many calories they burn when they're working out in the gym. Like, lifting weights, even though it's stressful and it's intense and everything else, doesn't burn a lot of calories. Now, it's good because it helps to stimulate muscle growth and it will help to partition those calories towards muscle growth and recovery, but it's still easy to overeat. So don't use the fact that you work out in the gym as justification to eat whatever you want. We see this a lot, right? And especially in the guys who are on the perma bulk, the power lifters, you know, the big guys. I mean, you go to any gym, you're going to see the big guys in there, and they're lifting heavy, training hard, and everything else. And they're big, and they're bulked, and they're wearing their hoodies and everything else. But if they were to peel off their shirt, like, there's no abdominal definition showing. They still got a roll of belly fat on top of a lot of muscle mass. So if you want to have that lean, athletic looking physique, defined muscle definition, you need to be in a calorie deficit, and one of the ways you can do that is obviously increasing your activity level. Now, I'm a big fan of low intensity cardio along with weight training, and I refer to this as my yin and yang training system. So when you do high intensity weight training, that's stressing the muscles, it's breaking down muscle tissue, and it's providing the stimulus for your body to rest, recover, and grow and build new muscle. Cardio training, on the other hand, it's a fat burning exercise. So it's low intensity, and it's something that you can do without stressing your central nervous system. And I find that that's actually good for active recovery because it helps to increase blood flow and circulation. It helps to burn calories, helps to tap into burning body fat, and it's a very good complementary mix. So what I usually recommend for most of my coaching students, and what I do most of the time myself, is I will do weight training one day and cardio the next. Weight training one day, cardio the next. So I'm getting this, I refer to it as yin and yang, high intensity weight training, the low intensity cardio. And by alternating them day for day, you get the benefits of daily exercise, you know, the mental benefits, the stress relief, all that stuff, the endorphins and the feel-good hormones that come about from regular exercise, plus the fitness benefits, but you're getting the muscle building and fat burning benefits as well. And ironically, you'll burn more calories from the cardio than you will from the weight training. Like, if you go to the gym and you lift weights for an hour, or you go and do cardio for an hour, there's actually more calories being burned in the hour of cardio because you're moving nonstop for an entire hour. Whereas with weight training, you're stop, go, right? You do a set and then you rest a minute or two. You do a set and you rest a minute or two. Like, on average, every set of weight training exercise you do, you're burning about 10 calories. Like, that's it. Now, it may fluctuate depending on your size and your intensity and all that, but on average, you know, a general ballpark rule, 10 calories a set. So you go to the gym, you do 20 sets, you just burn 200 calories. Whereas if you go and you do an hour of cardio, you could very likely burn 500 or more calories depending on how intense you go and how big your body is. Obviously, the bigger the body, the more calories you're going to burn. But you will burn more calories doing cardio than you will from weight training. So that's why I like to combine both. If you want to create that calorie deficit, you want to do so by filling up on the high volume, nutrient dense foods so that you get satiated with fewer calories. And then you're doing daily exercise to help increase your calorie expenditure. And you're also doing the cardio. The cardio there is what's going to tip the scale in favor of maximum fat burning. And I'm not a huge fan of the high intensity cardio because high intensity cardio is more similar to weight training than it is cardio. Like when you see guys going like running sprints and going flat out, that's almost like doing a heavy set of squats. Like it's short bursts of high intensity. Whereas when you do longer duration cardio, walking or cycling or hiking or just using the cardio machines at the gym, like you're walking on the treadmill or the stepper or the rower and you're doing it for prolonged periods of time, that's when you really burn a lot of calories, and you also start to tap into burning body fat because you're in that fat burning zone, right? So this is where you can really make some good strides if your main goal is fat loss, is increasing your cardio. And the cool thing about it is it doesn't all have to be done in a single go. Like you can space it out throughout the day. And this was something that I did myself when I was trying to get back in shape after 40. Like if you're familiar with my story and my situation, like I was a former competitive bodybuilder back in the day, and I used to be able to get in shape for the short term with, extreme low calorie cutting diets and stuff like that. But I couldn't sustain it long term because it wasn't a habit and lifestyle change. It was just this short term mentality, and then I'd always go back to my old habits afterwards. And as soon as you go back to your old habits, you regain the weight again. So I had to make a mental shift, a lifestyle shift, right? Not habit shift, if you will, not just going on a diet. So one of the habits that I made is I'm going to do daily exercise no matter what. And that could be going to the gym for a weight training workout. That could be going outside for a walk. And I'm going to take advantage of little bursts of exercise throughout the day. So if I don't have time to go to the gym for a 2-hour workout, it doesn't mean I don't have time to exercise. I mean, maybe I got 15 minutes and I can just go for a little walk around the block. Or maybe I got 15 minutes and I can do a little body weight circuit at home of push-ups and squats and some ab work. Or maybe I got some dumbbells and resistance bands and I can throw in some extra exercises there. But take advantage of little bursts of exercise. This is a game changer because chances are you have lots of little opportunities throughout the day where you could do short workouts, but you probably have few opportunities where you can go and do like a 2-hour marathon workout at the gym. And if you take advantage of all those little opportunities, the small opportunities, it's going to compound over time. Now, I mean, if you do a 10-minute workout or you go for a 15-minute walk or something like that, in and of itself, no, it's not going to make much difference. But if you start compounding that day after day, week after week, month after month, and you do it frequently, it's going to compound and make a big difference. Just like vice versa, if you have some bad habits, like if you eat a hamburger today, you're not going to be fat tomorrow. But if you keep eating hamburgers and french fries every single day, it's going to compound and it's going to add up to a lot of extra body fat over the long term. So you need to think of long-term averages and not just short-term bursts. And a lot of guys have this mental block thinking that, hey, if I can't work out for 2 hours or I can't do an hour of cardio or whatever, then I don't have time to work out. But then there's probably lots of times throughout the day where you got these little bursts like, hey, I got 20 minutes, I got 10 minutes, I can do something. And I'm telling you right now, something is better than nothing. So take advantage of all these little opportunities and it'll make a huge difference. And the big thing that I want you to wrap your head around here is let go of the all or nothing extreme approach. That all or nothing approach is ultimately setting you up for failure. Like people try to be perfect. They think, well, once I get the perfect diet and the perfect workout and my schedule is perfect and I have nothing on the go, like everything is clear, my calendar is clear and all the stars are aligned in the heavens above. Like once everything's perfect, then I'm going to start the program. And guess what? It's never going to be perfect. There's always going to be stuff happening. You're always going to be busy. There's always going to be new challenges and struggles and stuff is going to happen. It's never going to be perfect. So stop looking for perfection and look for good enough. It just has to be good enough, but good enough consistently. And this was the game changer. This was the mindset shift that I adopted over the last several years that has allowed me to lose the weight, get in shape, and then maintain it as a lifestyle. And for the past 3 years now, I've had visible abdominal definition every day for 3 years. I mean, that is something I never ever achieved when I was competing as a bodybuilder, because all I had was that all or nothing approach, where I would go on the crazy extreme, low carb diet, burning the candle at both ends, doing marathon 2-hour workouts plus cardio, and just like exhausting myself. And I would like live like a monk for maybe like 3 or 4 months at a time, going through my pre-contest cut, and everything will get put on pause. I wouldn't go out to restaurants. I wouldn't do any social events or anything like that. Like, I lived like a monk for basically 3 or 4 months before a contest, and I went all in. Now, it's great when you're all in. Like, yeah, you can make some rapid progress, but it's not sustainable. I mean, how long can you live like that before you finally get to the point where you just say, screw it, it's not worth it, I don't want to do this anymore, and you go back to your old habits? And that's what would happen to me every time I did a bodybuilding show. I mean, yeah, I would get in shape. I would look pretty good on stage. And once the placings were announced and the photos were taken and everything else, then it was like, look out. Where's the all-you-can-eat buffet? Where's the ice cream shop? Where's the pizza place, right? Where's the bakery? I would just go and start binging on all the crap that I was craving leading up to the contest. And I had that all or nothing, right? All in or nothing. And I've let go of that approach, and now I just focus on being good enough, but good enough consistently. And nothing is off limits. Nothing is off limits. I mean, if I crave something and I really want to have a cheat meal or something like that, then I will indulge in a cheat. But I do so smart, and I do so in a way that keeps things under control and minimizes the damage. So I'll give you an example. Like a few weeks ago, we ordered a pizza. Now, back in the day when I used to order pizza, I'd always get the biggest, ginormous, jumbo pizza that the pizza place offered, and I would stuff myself on pizza, and then I'd have leftover pizza the next day. And very often, that pizza binge ended up turning into a whole weekend binge. So let's say I ordered the pizza on a Friday night. I would sit down and eat 6 or 7 slices on Friday night, and then Saturday I still had leftover pizza, so I was eating that. And then I was like, you know what? I already blew the diet. Guess what? I'll start again on Monday. And so Friday night, binge. Saturday, binge. And then Sunday, I definitely binge, because you know what? Hey, diet's going to start on Monday. I better get those cravings out of the system now. So Sunday, I'd go to the all-you-can-eat buffet and probably go out for brunch and chips and pancakes and burgers and french fries and ice cream and get all those cravings out of my system, because gosh darn it, on Monday, the diet's going to start. And I want to be on track so I can give it 100% then on Monday. And I used to do that over and over again. And yeah, okay, you diet strict from Monday to Thursday, and then you blow it again on Friday, binge all weekend, and like whatever progress you made through those few days of all in, you totally undo it on those few days of binging on the weekend. So I've let go of this extreme all or nothing approach, and now I focus on good enough, but good enough consistently. So one of the strategies that we do now is, when we ordered the pizza, first I filled up on protein and veggies. So I had a large garden salad, and I chopped up a chicken breast and I put in there with the salad. So that pre-filled my belly and took the edge off the hunger. Right? So I got the protein and veggies, I got the high nutrient dense foods in there. And then afterwards, I had 2 slices of pizza. And once I had the 2 slices of pizza on top of the big garden salad and the chicken breast, like, I was full. I was totally satiated. And I still got the craving of pizza out of my system. I got to enjoy the pizza, savor it. I mean, it tasted good and I thoroughly enjoyed it, but 2 slices was enough. Whereas if I had done it the old way, I would have started eating the pizza when I was famished, and I'd probably end up eating 6 or 7 slices before I got full. Whereas this way, I ate 2 slices and was totally satisfied. When it comes to junk food, the more you eat doesn't make it any better. Like, the 3rd slice of pizza is not going to taste any better than the 2nd slice. You know, when you're eating chips or cookies, like, after you eat so many of them, you kind of got the taste and satisfaction. Like, it doesn't get better the more you eat, right? Like, the 2nd bowl of ice cream doesn't taste any better than the 1st bowl, right? Like, it doesn't get better the more you eat. So what I recommend is, if you're craving something, then go satisfy that craving, but do so with a small portion. A small portion so that you get the craving satisfied, and then you can forget about it and move on, versus ignoring those cravings and then end up having a big binge afterwards. And this is what a lot of people do. You know, maybe you're craving some ice cream, and instead of having a small bowl of ice cream or a single serving ice cream or something like that, you keep saying, nope, not gonna have the ice cream, not gonna have the ice cream, not gonna have it. And then the craving starts to build. You start obsessing over it. And I mean, you're always thinking about it because it's just there, and you're obsessing. And then eventually you get to the point where, like, screw it, I can't stand it anymore. And then you end up like slamming back a whole container of ice cream. Whereas if you had to nip the craving in the bud when it was small, you could have just satisfied it, like had a small serving of ice cream, or went to the ice cream shop and got like a little kitty size ice cream cone or something like that, satisfied the craving, and then forget about it and move on. And this is my strategy now. So, I mean, I still have my cheats, but they're small cheats, and I manage them before they get out of control. So if I'm starting to crave something, I don't let it build. I satisfy that craving as soon as it hits so I can forget about it, move on, and get back on track for my very next meal. I don't wait till Monday, and I don't know this BS of start again on Monday. I start again for my very next meal. And if you do that, you're gonna minimize the damage. Because like I mentioned before, like you just think you cheat on Friday, and because of that, then you say, oh, I'm gonna start again on Monday. So Friday night you cheat, Saturday you cheat, Sunday you cheat, and think of all that damage done. Like you totally undid a full week or more of diet and exercise because you're gonna start your diet on Monday, right? And you're gonna go all in. Whereas if you had your cheat on Friday and you say, you know what, I'm gonna get back on track next meal. So Saturday morning, you're on a healthy diet, exercise, back to your routine again. You just minimize the damage, and it's good enough, but good enough consistently so you can make progress over the long term. And that's what this is all about. It's long-term averages. It's about making progress long-term and not trying to suffer it out in the short term. So hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully this gave you some insights and some strategies. And if you would like some help with coming up with a realistic action plan, then this is what I focus on. Like it's not about the extreme perfection approach or having the perfect diet. It's about how do you make these habit and lifestyle changes, and how do you make them work for you, your situation, and so you can actually achieve the goals you want long term, enjoy the process, and sustain it. So if you'd like some help with that, then feel free to reach out to me. And again, if you want to satisfy those sweet tooth cravings without blowing your diet, check out the Built Bar, right? This is one of my strategies. This is how I satisfy those sweet tooth cravings. So if I have a meal and I'm craving some dessert, very often I'll satisfy that dessert with the Built Bar because it tastes just as good as a chocolate bar, and I'm not getting the calories, I'm not getting the fat or the sugar and all that stuff. I mean, it's another dose of good quality muscle building protein, but it's satisfying the sweet tooth cravings. And I find like eating that prevents me from wanting to go binge on candy bars. So like I can't remember the last time I had a candy bar because I'm satisfying those cravings with Built Bars. And it's an awesome strategy. So making better food choices and enjoying healthier options is a great way to stick to your diet and sustain it over the long term. All right, guys, hopefully you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback about it, you know what to do. You post them down in the comments below, and I'll chat with you down there. And again, make sure to check out the Built Bar, and you can use the coupon code LEEH10, save 10% off your order, and that is a reoccurring coupon code, so you can use it every single time to save some money and to satisfy those cravings at the same time. All right, I'll talk to you in a future video coming soon. Take care, over and out.